And we are back around the dinner table. Sorry, took a month and a half off there, traveling and...
I'm sure everybody missed us too.
Yeah, the 5 people who listened to us completely missed us. I've been busy with working with distributor there on getting sound corrected and little nitpicky things. Have 1/3 of the movie to go. So I'm on the last 20 minutes of it. No, 35 minutes of it.
Okay.
So that'll be done. Look at November 1st. Definitely going to Good Show. I'm going to do that. Well, I'll have more details on that soon. And then the other stuff will come as things get done. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
So that can at least, I know I can have like a soft launch on November 1st. And then it'll go to wherever the hell else they decide to sell it to after that. So taking care of what I can control first. So we'll get that done November 1st for Simple Acts of Kindness. So I'm really excited there. Stressed out, but excited, And we have a new show coming. We'll probably be on Good Show too. It will eventually make it over to YouTube. It's Great American Beer Run. It's with me and my friends. We kind of do beer tasting, trying different beers. From all around America, the country. Sometimes there'll be European stuff in there too. I imagine some German stuff here and there. The first episode of that is halfway done, so that one is taking a lot more time than I really thought it would. It absolutely did. There's some mistakes in there that I have to, for the next filming, I'm gonna correct. We had the bad mic placement, so I'm having some sound things I'm having to do, and that was my fault. That's a new show that's coming soon, and we'll have all the stuff for that here pretty soon. And then we're, again, around the dinner table, as we always are. I'm here with my father, Michael.
Yep, I'm back.
He's back into the country.
Alive.
Still alive, kicking, Pushing it through, as always, And it's the same here. So September, you pretty much took that off.
Well, I took actually half of it. But, your mom and I went to go visit Matt and Jan. Well, we did visit with them, but instead of going to France, we did something a little different this year. And my original idea was to meet them in Ireland, but Matthew had the idea that we could take a 10-day cruise out of Rome. So I kind of liked his idea a little better.
Rome is nice.
It's okay. Chaotic, noisy, loud, but fun. So what we did was flew to Rome from here in beautiful Jacksonville and landed in extremely more beautiful Rome.
Extremely, I bet. Yeah,
and we spent 3 nights there, about 2.5 days, and then took the train up to the port, which is called Civitavecchia. I think I'm saying that right.
You had to get the cliche American Italian.
Civitavecchia. Something like that. And about an hour train ride from Rome. And got on and went on a 10-day cruise. So Rome was fun. We got to do some of the things that I wanted to do, not all of them, so I might have to go back.
Darn. That's such a bummer to have.
Yeah, we went to the Colosseum, but we didn't go inside because we were too stupid to buy tickets in advance. And it was really hot that day.
Oh, I bet.
And the lines were so long, and we just didn't want to stand out in the heat. I mean, it was like Florida hot over there.
Oh, wow.
For the first few days.
Yeah, hot, humid stuff.
Hot and humid. It was really in the 90s, close to 100. So we didn't want to stand in that heat and wait to go inside, so we didn't. We just walked around the outside, took some pictures, and took a lot of pictures around the area. And then we went to the Roman, I always forget the name of it, Pantheon.
Oh, yes.
And that same day, actually.
Yeah.
And highly recommend going to visit that.
Oh, yeah.
The lines weren't long, and we bought our tickets right there or used our cell phones to buy our tickets. Walked right in. There was this huge line for tickets, and of course, tech savvy Matthew's like, let's see if we can buy these online. 2 minutes later, we were walking in the place, So with with our tickets, and it was great. That's a beautiful place, man. That is so awesome. You know the history of it more than I do.
Yeah, they back when before Constantine, it was kind of considered the house of Zeus. It's where, if I remember correctly,
All the Roman gods were
in there, and then Constantine came in, and so did Christianity, and he tore all that out, which is sad because you think, imagine the beautiful marble statues that were there depicting Zeus and Hades and all of them, and he turned it into an ode to Jesus. I mean, there's a lot of...
Oh, yeah, it's all Christian. Yeah,
a lot of, I think, Mary's in there.
Crucifixes and all that, and different... I got some pictures up here to kind of refresh my memory, but a lot of it I just forgot who they are or can't really identify. But, there's crucifixes and Mary, the birth of Jesus, all that stuff.
Yeah, he went... Constantine went hardcore. He changed the winter solstice celebration to what we call Christmas today. He changed the spring solstice celebration to what we call Easter. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why they celebrate Easter in the summer or in the spring when we do. It wasn't because he was probably crucified then, or he didn't rise, crucified or risen then, I guess, in Christian, the Bible says. It wasn't really, I don't think they have the exact time.
I don't know. It's like Christmas has probably happened in like April.
Yeah, it's when the Romans did their counting is actually in April.
Yeah, and just based on the stars and the the descriptions of time.
So he just kind of made adjustments to partially appease the Roman people who were kind of annoyed that, like, where's all of our parties? Because winter solstice is a big party in that time, and he kind of annoyed them. So they he had to compromise, I guess, and that's why certain Christian holidays align where they align. But it's but they're all basically off of the backs of those old, what do they call it, polytheistic religion. I think it's poly's more. Yeah, mono is one god, poly. So they do more of that. Yeah.
It was really interesting, and I really enjoyed that. That walking around in there, we're probably there maybe an hour and a half. I don't know, but the beauty of the floors, they're all stone marble floors, and they brought the marble from like Greece. Some of it's from Italy, and it's from all over Europe. And these floors are concave because the roof is open, so you can the water run off when it rains, and it's just amazing the way they built that thing. These pillars out in the front, those all came from Greece, and they hauled them all the way to friggin' Rome from Greece, which not that part, but
it was.
That was a job. It's not like throwing on the back of a semi truck, trucking them over to Rome. But
they were amazing at what they could do. I think
it's incredible. The architecture in Rome is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that it's just everywhere you look is just this beautiful.
It's built before cranes existed.
Yeah, it's amazing how they built all that stuff. And what's really weird is like the Pantheon. We're walking down the street and there's these apartment buildings, modern, 21st or late 20th century maybe apartment buildings, and then you walk around the corner. There's this courtyard. And boom, there it is.
Oh, that's
this
awesome.
Ancient freaking building right in there. It's like, damn. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it's they're engineering. To me, they're just engineering marvels.
Oh, yeah.
If you look into any of that, you're just
all that stuff. A lot of that stuff still there. All the aqueducts or some of the aqueducts and things like that.
They still use some of them, I think, today too.
I think they might. I'm not sure.
I think they do. But, I have to double check that. Don't quote me.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, we spent like the first night we were so tired. We just we stayed in Airbnb. We basically just went in there and unloaded our stuff and sat around and talked for a while and had dinner. And we went to a pizza place, family-run pizza joint that was fantastic. Great people running that place, and that pizza was the best I've ever had in my life.
Oh, nice.
Roman pizza, man, it's awesome. And that next full day is when we did the Pantheon and the Colosseum and a lot of stuff in between. I mean, everywhere you go, there's just something to take a picture of.
Yeah.
And then the third day, Matt and Jim wanted to catch up on laundry before we went to the cruise because Mom and I have been on so many cruises, we get our laundry done for free. But they don't. So we just kind of sat around that day, most of the day. We did go out and see some stuff, but rather limited. And had another nice dinner, and the next day we got on the train and went to get on the cruise ship, which was a 10-day cruise. We went, our first port was in Turkey. Let's see if I can find the name of the place. It was an interesting place. Kind of actually reminded me of the Bahamas a little bit. Kusadasi, Turkey. And it was really touristy.
Yeah.
It's right on the water, right on the Mediterranean, or whatever sea it is, part of the Mediterranean. There's multiple seas that are off of the Mediterranean. And it was, they had a big market there, which was kind of cool. But and a lot of stores, selling stuff. Kind of, like I said, kind of like the Caribbean islands or the Bahamas, that we go to on cruises a lot. Rather pushy salesman, that kind of thing, which I don't like. No. I would gladly go into all of their shops and see what they have, but, don't get in my face. So I didn't care for that too much. We didn't do any excursions or anything. We just walked around, and it was a nice little area, beautiful little town. People were nice. Like I said, the salespeople were a little pushy, but, they're trying to make a buck, or a euro.
So, are they European Union?
Yes.
They are Turkey?
On the euro, yes.
I did not know that. I wasn't sure, because that's kind of considered the door to, if I remember, it's like the door to the Middle East, isn't it?
Well, they're kind of in between.
Yeah, they're like loosely European, but
also Middle Eastern. Yeah, there's mosques there. And there's churches there.
Yeah, very.
It's all.
Well, is it Mahmed when he took, at the time it was Constantinople, and he took Istanbul and he made it Istanbul. He welcomed everybody. Yeah. He was himself a Muslim, but he was the Sultan, and he figured kind of like the Genghis Khan did in the East. People aren't all going to be the same. So instead of warring with people and fighting with people, let them recognize that I am their leader, but they can believe in what they want.
Yeah.
And both of those men did that. They weren't particularly good men. I'm not saying they were good men for it, but they had, they were smart enough to realize that I can't force this on somebody else. So we'll welcome you in. Just know that I am your ruler, and understand that you're paying your taxes to me. And that's all he cared about. As long as he got his taxes, he didn't care. So I think Turkey still kind of maintains a lot of...
They do. They're kind of stuck in the middle. Yeah, which is okay for them. And they seem to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't eat... I don't think we had any meals there. We had some snacks. But we bought some baklava. Matthew bought some baklava.
Baklava is so good.
Yeah, it was good. So we spent a day, or part of a day there. And again, the weather was really hot.
Yeah,
but it's
hot and humid.
Middle of September. I thought it would have cooled off some. Maybe it did. It was still hot though.
Yeah.
But it was nice. We had a nice day.
Yeah.
And then our next stop was in Greece, Mykonos.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I would love to go back there.
Yeah.
I mean, just in the off season. I don't want to go back there during tourist season. That place was packed.
Oh, I bet.
There were 5 cruise ships in there that day, the day we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'm sure there were other tourists from around Europe. It is one of the most tourist-intensive places in Greece, and it's one of the most expensive, too.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it that... Of course, the only thing we did there is had lunch and bought a few trinkets, but
True.
But that place
living there is probably
awesome.
different.
It is beautiful. I mean, it is so nice. Highly recommend that. Matt and Jan were talking about, hey, we might need to come down here and
just visit,
like in January, February, or something, and just spend some time.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a beautiful lunch there. The food was, oh my God, the food was so good.
Yeah, Greece is another one of those destinations. I'd love to go to Athens. The kind of the birthplace of all Western culture.
Well, I got a little story about that. Our next stop on the cruise was Santorini, Greece. I think that was the next one. Let me look here. I'm trying to catch up on all this. My memory is... Yeah, it was Santorini. Beautiful place. up on a hill. The city is up on this top of this cliff from where the cruise ships all anchor. You know, you got to anchor there. You can't. There's no dock. Same thing with Mykonos. We had to anchor. So, with five cruise ships in there that next day, there's a couple of ways to get up to the city. And one of them is you can walk up. It's like 700 and some steps up this cliff.
And they're probably like.
I have a picture here.
Yeah,
that's it there. You know,
that's not too bad.
And I probably would have done it if I didn't have a sore knee.
Yeah,
my left knee was bothering me like crazy. It still is.
Yeah,
but so I thought, well, 700 and some steps is out, or however many steps it was. I think it was 700 and something. Or you could ride a donkey up the steps. You know, remember the old you could take the donkey. It costs the same. Or they have this trolley thing where you can go up. It's like I'll call it a trolley. Close enough.
Kind of like the ski
lift thing. Gondola kind of thing. Yeah. But the line for that was like 2.5, 3 hours long. And in fact, they delayed people from going ashore because there were so many people waiting.
Oh, wow.
To go there. You know, it was just packed. So we had a family meeting and decided we're just going to stay on the ship.
Yeah.
Which was too bad because that was one of the places I really wanted to go, was Santorini. But with my sore knee and having to stand in line and the hot weather, and we just figured it was best just to stay on the ship.
Yeah. And Matthew's bad back, too.
Matthew's bad back.
He would not have made that.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good, you know. And the next port was Athens. It was actually, the ship actually docked there in a town called Piraeus, which is a suburb of Athens. And we fully intended to take a bus to the train station and a train to Athens, which is a really short, maybe 30 minutes train ride. But we all overslept.
Oh, no.
We didn't even get up until, you know, I didn't set an alarm because I haven't set an alarm since I retired, you know, unless I have to get on an airplane or something. I don't set an alarm. And we just, all of a sudden we wake up and it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Oh, no.
And jet lagging, you know, and all that, you know, the time changes and everything. So we just, we just decided not to go.
Oh, man.
And so, you know, that was pretty much it for Greece. No, we had one more port. One more port in Greece, Katakolo, which was a little small seaside town, tiny little place. But it was kind of nice, you know. It was a probably 10-minute walk from where the ship docked, 15-minute walk. We went down there and walked around the city a little bit, and they had buses that went to a bigger city, which was close by that I can't remember the name of. And we talked to some people that had just got back on a bus trip, and they said, yeah, don't bother. So it's just kind of like this, only it's not on the water. So we just stayed there and walked around, had a really nice lunch. Again, the Greeks, man, they know how to eat.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Man, the food is good.
Mediterranean diet is considered the best diet for human beings, period. You know, and I get it.
And we met a really nice couple from Toronto that were just sitting next to us at the next table, and we started talking to them, and they were on our ship. And I never saw them again after that. I don't know. They were on the ship when
That's funny.
And he was a retired police officer. So he's telling me about Toronto and the murder rate. He said they had a homicide division with 20 cops or something. He said they had, the last year he was there, they had 9 murders.
Oh, wow.
He said those guys would go to work and
they were behind us in Jacksonville. I think we're like,
that's what I told
5
him.
a day now.
I just laughed and I said, shit, we have that many a day in Jacksonville. So you guys, you know, but 9 the whole year. You know, it was crazy. Yeah.
God, I remember when it was a funny story. It was a couple years ago. I was still in Phoenix, and Matthew came out, and he calls me up. He says, "Nick, I just saw a news report that they made it 4 days before their first murder." He goes, "The problem is into the year." So it was like January 4th, their first murder happened. He goes, "Then the problem is the next day there was like 10."
They were catching up.
Yeah, Jacksonville had to catch up, man. You know, they got to keep that rate high.
But we had a nice time in that little town. It really did. And that wasn't our last port at all. Our next stop was in Sicily, Messina.
Mm.
And I loved Messina. I really did. That is a nice little city. And it was raining when we got there. The weather changed completely. I'm glad I brought a jacket weather, that kind of weather. From the really hot, steamy to cold and rainy. And it rained that morning when we got off the ship. And Matt and Jay, all they had was shorts and T-shirts. And they were freezing, But I was smart enough, and your mom and I were to bring a jacket just in case. And we needed it.
Some pants. Yeah.
But that's a nice little city there. We went to, first thing we did was, Matthew had to get some prescriptions refilled. And of course, being in the European Union, and they actually care about people and have pharmacies everywhere, he was able to get his prescriptions refilled
anywhere. That's good. See, that I found interesting. I was curious how that works. Yeah. Like because the United States, I can get every Walgreens would fill my prescription, right? But so it makes sense, how we do that here. But I always wondered, the French system, which is slightly different than the Italian system, which is slightly different than the German.
It's all the only difference really, are some of the prices.
Yeah.
Because each country negotiates with the drug companies for their pricing. So he had a couple of prescriptions that were a little bit cheaper and one that was more expensive.
Oh, okay.
So it actually kind of evened out.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. So we popped into a pharmacy, which they have them all over the place in France and Italy. I didn't notice any in Greece, but I'm sure they were there.
Yeah, probably.
And just said, hey, had his French prescription. They're like, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Come back in a couple hours and pick it up.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And they filled most of them right there, but there was one they had to have brought from a different pharmacy or something, and we had to pick that one up later. But yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's kind of neat. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I was always kind of curious because
it was interesting.
People travel so much there.
Yeah. It's so easy to go from country to country, and so he got that done, and we went to a cathedral. Beautiful place, man. This cathedral was awesome. We went in there and took a bunch of pictures and stuff, and then when we walked out, there was one of those little trolley train things, tourist trains, like they have in St. Augustine, all over the place, really. So we thought, let's go, let's jump on that. So we got a tour of the city. It was probably a couple hours, and then we had a lunch and went back to the ship. And we spent all day out there. It was beautiful. Nice, wonderful city. Highly recommend it if you get a chance to go there.
Oh yeah, it's
beautiful. Another place I would go back to, really. In Sicily, they have an active volcano, Mount Etna.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was cloudy and stuff, and we couldn't see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We couldn't get a good view.
Guess it still spews.
It does.
Constantly.
It does. I was there in 1997, I think, 96, 97 in Sicily, and you could see, at night, it lava flowing down the mountain.
That's kind of cool.
It was really pretty neat.
And terrifying, I bet, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were in Sigonella. We only spent a day. We were flying back from Saudi Arabia, and the plane broke down. Our charter flight broke down, so they put us up in hotels and fed us, and we had a great time.
That's nice.
It was only a day, but it was fun. So next stop was Naples. Last time I was in Naples, Italy was 1983. And so I'd been there twice on that. We went there twice on that cruise, and I don't remember any of them. I mean, the ship docked there, and I'm looking around going, I have no idea where anything is, So we we didn't actually go out until we had booked a tour through the ship to go to Pompeii.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, my memories of Naples weren't that good anyway. The place, it's really a blue collar kind of place, a little different than Rome, certainly. And I thought, I don't really care if we go out there or not, but I do want to go to Pompeii.
Yeah.
So we did that.
That's a must.
Through the ship. We also stopped at a cameo factory on the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know that those cameos are made out of seashells.
I didn't either.
Yeah, but they showed us the whole process, how they made them and stuff. Expensive? Ooh, geez. Man, those things are pricey. But we got to Pompeii. Again, more Italian chaos. Italy, I find France very organized.
Mm-hmm.
Very, when they say the train is going to be here in 3 minutes,
mm-hmm.
the train is there in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's a 12:01 train, it leaves at 12:01. That's not Italy. It's not like that at all. It's very chaotic. And they have, Pompeii, of course, is a huge tourist area. I mean, millions of people go visit there every year. And they've got trinket stands and shops and souvenir shit. And it's just all over the place. It's all just this massive conglomeration of stuff, and it's thankfully we were on a tour. I would not want to go there without being on an organized tour.
You just get lost.
You get lost. And our tour guide, took us, our group, there's probably, I'm guessing 25, 30 people in the group, and herded us all, and we all got in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to wait in line. We just went in as a group. And she gave us a wonderful tour of that place, and it is amazing. I mean, to think, was 78 AD or
something like that? Yeah.
Volcano erupted, something like that.
Yeah, it was early. It was. I think it was AD.
Yeah, and all of that was buried, and it all really survived because it was buried. Now that it's out in the weather, they're having to do a lot of maintenance to it to keep it.
And they got the people, they got bodies and they put them in glass to make sure they don't get destroyed or.
Yeah, the people that were buried in the ash, and they were able to,
pretty much mummified.
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, you can still see the ruts from the chariots in the streets. Huh. And I was just incredible. I'm glad I went there. It was just incredible. Absolutely. We were exhausted at the end of that day. I mean, it was a lot of hard walking because of the old. I'm sure at one time those roads were smooth, but they're not now. After earthquakes and volcanoes and everything else.
Yeah. And weather.
It was really hard walking around there. It was, by the end of the day, we were all pretty tired. But we got back on the bus, went back to the ship, and that was our last port. The next morning, we were back in Civitavecchia, and we got on a bus, went to the airport, and flew home.
Oh, wow.
So by the time we got home, we were pretty tired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we didn't do one for a couple of weeks. Figured let everybody kind of sleep.
Wow, we were pooped. But well worth the trip. Man, it was fun. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would go back to Pompeii. I would go back to Sicily. Greece, certainly. Turkey, I don't know.
Yeah, Turkey's interesting. Like I said, I would like to go to Istanbul because, I love that whole history. That's where the Roman Empire truly died.
They do have cruises over there that stop near Istanbul, if not actually in Istanbul. But I remember this spring, was it this spring they had some kind of thing happen there?
Yeah, probably.
Some kind of terrorist thing or something. So I don't know if they're going there right now.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Unfortunate, but people just leave people alone. The whole world just needs to learn that. Yeah. Right, left, center, whoever, just leave each other alone. Who cares? Gives a shit.
But it was a fun trip, and Italy is great.
Yeah,
I like the people, the food, man, the food. My friend Bill always told me, "It's the only thing you ever need in Italy is some money and a fork.
Yeah.
It's just and you're good.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else.
I want to go. That is.
It's well worth it.
If I can get myself back into Europe here in the next, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get myself back out there soon. I got to do it. I would like to do something where I go to the Mediterranean and.
Yeah, Matt and Jim, they took a train from Caen, actually, to Paris, and then Paris they went, I don't know, they'd have to tell you the route, and it was a long trip for them. It really was. It was, we actually all left about the same time. We were on our way to the airport when they were on the train.
Oh, wow.
Kind of thing, and they
That's
got there
amazing.
probably about 8 hours before we did in Rome. Something like that. They got there around midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that. And we got there we got there at 1 in the afternoon. So they'd been there about 12 hours when we got there. And from the airport to the city is probably, by the time we got off the plane, went through customs, got our passports stamped and all that, till we actually got off the train at the bus station where we met Matt and Jam was probably 2 hours. So it's probably about 3:30 when we finally met up with them.
You know what's funny about the whole passport thing? In movies, every movie I've ever watched, when they're going to the country, they always ask them business or pleasure. I have never been asked that once.
No.
Never been asked that in
just
my life.
look at your passport and stamp it. Yeah.
I've been in Europe twice, and I've been, I've had my passport stamped at cruise things and stuff like that, just because I could, mainly I just wanted the stamps, but they've never been asked that. They don't give a shit. Just like, welcome, be good.
And what is so funny too is, you have a incoming stamp and an outgoing stamp.
Yeah.
One of them, the arrow's pointing one way and the other one pointing the other. Well, they don't put them on the same page.
I hate that. It drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy. Yeah, they just open the book and, so I got stamps all over my freaking passport book, and it really drives me crazy. I wish they would go in order,
I thought it was funny
my
because
OCD thing. I think
the last time I went on the same passport I went to Ireland with, and the French guy opens, he sees the Irish stamp, and he just stamps the French one next to it. But then the other guy sees the outgoing Irish one, he just like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, you could have had I could have been cool. I had my French one and my Irish one there, and then on my outgoing next to each other. He's like, no, not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, most of my stamps were on like pages 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my.
Yeah.
And when we got to Italy, I watched him stamp the book. I know he stamped it. I couldn't find it. It was
really?
on page 14. It's like, can't you put it next to the other one?
There needs to be international law where they just do that, because I'm the same
keep
way.
them in order.
He like trips my OCD there. I'm like, no, it's not the same.
Man, I was like, come on. But one of those stupid things.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time. It's great seeing Matt and Jam. We had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the dogs. They were crazy. They were fun. They were good boys. They always are.
Yeah, that's good.
They're well behaved. I don't think anything happened.
No, we'd had the hurricanes when we got back.
Yeah, the hurricanes happened when we got back. That's another reason we were gonna. I was gonna do one of these last week, but it's a hurricane.
Yeah, we had actually 2 hurricanes.
Yeah, right in a row, or within a week and a half of each other, something like that. Almost 2 weeks of each other.
2 weeks. But fortunately for us, we had no.
Yeah, unfortunately for I guess I always called it the Panhandle, but I guess it's the Big Bend and Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah, the Gulf Coast there got throttled. But,
we got some rain, and we lost the first one. We lost power for about 7 hours.
Yeah.
About the time I fired up the generator, the power came back up.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the second one, nothing.
We didn't even lose power, so that was good.
Some wind. My friend Tommy, she said she had some pretty good wind at her house on the second one. Besides that, but then I was like, is it wind to a Floridian, or is it a lot of wind to somebody else? Because Washington, we would get these big windstorms all the time.
Yeah.
So when they're like freaking out here, oh my God, it's windy. Like it's like 20 miles an hour. It's really not a big deal, or 30 miles an hour. It's really not a big deal. But you go to Arizona, and I used to hate it when it would be windy, because it's always kind of windy in Phoenix. because of the mountains. They're all around it. And I would walk into where I worked at the dealership, we had a breezeway where the cars would park, for service, where the service riders were. And it was like being hit by a blow dryer because it's 115 outside. And this blast of air is just coming through there. You're just like, oh my God, this is gross. I hate this so much. But, at least I guess like they said, it's dry. At least you cook slower over there.
Yeah.
Here, but still not use that humidity here. But it'll take me a little bit.
It's pretty nice today.
Today's not bad.
Yeah.
It's getting cold. I like it
Too. Yeah.
It can stay this temperature. I'm pretty happy. It may be a little bit warmer, but it'll be all right with me.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll warm back up.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing really happened here for me. I don't think I did really anything. I mean, I worked on movie stuff and got that ready. It's got sent over to distributor, found out what they wanted fixed. Fixing it. I'm just, I don't know. I guess I get it from Mom. A little bit of it's not quite perfect enough, Yeah. I do. So I have to learn to accept, okay, it is good. It'll be fine. Just get it going. But, so I've been working on, that's all I did that whole time. And then planned out the beer show we're doing. And that was pretty much about it. And, it was kind of a quiet 2 weeks for me. It was kind of a little boring at times, actually, because
rained every day.
Rained every damn day. And so it's like days I didn't want to work on the movie or anything because of the wind or whatever. Because, here, you look at the power grid wrong here, it just goes out.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put my hard drives through that. So I just sat and played Madden football for like 8 hours one day. I'm like, I need to go do something. I called up my buddy John and I said, hey, man, what are you doing? Because I'm going out of my mind here. The dogs will be okay for a day without me. So went over to his house and had a good time out there. And but that's about it. Yeah, it's pretty quiet couple of weeks. I like it. Sometimes I like it when it's quiet.
Me too.
I like
a day.
Kind of have a house to myself a little bit. It's like, some quiet and let the dogs be Milo and Riley. Those two are insane. They're fun. They're crazy. Walking them was funny. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. The
How,
two of them together, yeah.
Yeah, they
crazy.
refuse to go in the same direction.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. You see where the other one's going. Go that way. Go that way. They're like, no, we will go this way and snap your hand because, I have them in one hand.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, they're funny that way. And then if one pees on something, the other's got to pull you all the way back to go pee on it and pee on his pee. It's like, God, you guys are just awful. There's times where I'm just like, oh, I got to walk these dogs. I really don't want to. Like, Riley, can't you go poop outside? No, he only poops on the walk.
I've seen him poop out back too, but
yeah, not very
often.
often. It's the walks. Yeah, he would hold it. One day, it was just pouring. I'm like, he would not go out. I'm like, man, you're gonna have to figure this out because I'm not. It's just pouring out here. There's no way. It's not going to get any better. He just wouldn't go out. Held her for like 2 days. Because it poured like that for 2 days. I have never seen a dog crap so much when he finally did. I was like, oh my God. Are you okay? He lost body weight on that one. So, but it was, like I said, peaceful times.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back kind of doing this. And
like
I said, all my other stuff coming back up. No, so we got a lot. I got a lot happening, but I hope it's good. I think it'll be good.
I hope so.
Making some little changes here and there and some good stuff. I'm really excited about it. So
hopefully it
starts working.
Does well.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's a new network, new everything. They're fairly new. And they're not like where YouTube is like, you got to have like 4,000 viewable hours and all these subscribers and you'll never get it because there's so many people there.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are fairly new, so I'm kind of going to where it's new, it's not quite overtaken yet, and then try to get in there. And they allow, like Twitch does, like the gamers do, where they're, I'd like to get a couple bucks their way, tip,
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get a little, I'm not expecting millions, just a little bit of like, hey, you did good, thank you,
Yeah.
So it's something I'm looking forward to. We'll get that going here in the next, hopefully by the 1st. My goal is the 1st. That's when the movie will be on that channel. So
I hope so.
it will be. I've set that in stone. That's probably
Well, if that channel does well, then Google will buy it anyway.
Yeah, so
It'll become Facebook.
it'll become
Or not Facebook, but
it'll become YouTube Part 2.
Yeah.
You know, it'll become the subscriber YouTube or something. God, it just drives me crazy. You know, but there's another one too. Vimeo is a big one too for independent film. A lot of guys put their movies up there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the other big one here. So I'll probably do both. If Vimeo's extremely expensive though, they're like, Nick, you got to buy all.
You
this
got to pay
stuff.
money. And put
Yeah.
stuff there, yeah.
I do the other one, but it's like $10 a month.
Oh,
You know, so
okay.
I can do that. I'll just do that. You know, that's how they make their money. So they don't take everything that when it's like my movie's gonna go up for. I know it's going to already go for $1. That's going to happen. But I get all of that. So it's not like where when it goes to Amazon takes 50% and then my distributor takes 20% of that. So I get, my numbers get smaller there, and then Amazon pays what, I think like a penny per ad view, where these guys like, you can do the whole $1. You can do more than that if you want, but do whatever you want. Have a good time. Good luck. They don't do ads. They don't do none of that crap.
Yeah,
So
hopefully,
it's a pretty good model. They've been around a while. I didn't know that. The lady who owns it is from India. I guess it's an Indian based company. So she has all these like tutorial videos, and it's kind of funny, and. And it's like, oh, okay, here we go. All right, this is interesting. So they're very big, more overseas than they are here. Where YouTube's the big one here, over there, they're kind of more. And let's face it, my movies like mine do better over there anyways than they do here. So I'm not too worried about it.
yeah.
We'll get something here, then we'll kick it over there a little bit. So,
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
so
It'll take off.
looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited for it. So
Yeah.
I'm stressed out to the max because
Sure.
now the world's finally going to see it, and they get back. Oh my God, what the hell, man? Oh my God, I'm sorry, but I don't think so. I hope not, anyways. I really don't think so. But it's still nerve wracking. But that's all. Yeah, that's all that's going on here.
Yeah.
Kind of quiet. We're back. Kind of going back to normal. We're back to our normal rate of 20 listeners, and weekly those 20 listeners can expect us back. Consistent listeners anyway.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to do a topical thing anymore. We'll just make it a...
Yeah, this kind of freeform thing is kind of nice,
Freeform.
and we kind of run into things. Yeah, we're going to end up talking politics depending on what we read that day,
I heard there's an election.
Is there an election coming? Oh, there is, yeah.
I'm glad when it's over.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be glad when it's over, but that's that is beside the point. I will plan and work from there.
Yeah, just go from there. Oh, there's Riley.
Oh, Riley's barking. So, well, we will let all of you go. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. Everyone take care.
All right. Have a nice one, and goodbye.
Bye.